Hello! Welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about the question that I've been getting way too much lately. Why the fuck are you moving to Mexico? Isn't it normally the other way around? Aren't people crossing borders because the US is so amazing, blah blah blah? Well, yes. But in this case, I've got more personal reasons as to why I moved. Let me just say it wasn't a decision that I wanted when the idea first came about. It scared me like hell. But I'm here and I'm happy so far. It's been 2 weeks in school and it's going good. It's a little stressful, but that's okay. But to get to the point of this video, why did you move to Mexico? Well, a simple answer is my mental health. As most of you know, I struggled with an eating disorder and depression for 8 years, and last year I decided to be honest about it and take care of myself, and I started going to treatment, and I stayed in New York for the semester still because I told my parents December of 2017. And I was like, yeah, like it's not that bad, I can do it. And I went to see a doctor and I went back to New York. I studied and everything, I was in school, blah, 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 but it did not go well at all because the program that I got into was IOP. Which is not at all close to what I needed. I was severely sick, way underweight, and I needed more help, but I didn't admit it to myself. I thought I was scared to lose that part of me, but I wanted to lose it, but I didn't want to lose it. I don't know, my head was just everywhere. So I started going to this IOP program for 3 dinners in a week, and then they noticed that I wasn't doing better at all, and then I started doing meal supports. So sometimes like twice or 3 times a week they would come and eat with me and blah blah blah. Well, there's a video for that, but then I ended up failing most of my classes because obviously I was just not well at all. I wasn't going to school, and if I to classes, and if I wasn't doing the work and everything. Like my head was just everywhere, so not good at all. I failed school, and that's when it got real. My team in New York, after 4 months of being in IOP and them trying to do everything possible in their hands, they were completely honest with me. They were like, dude, listen, like, you are very, very sick. You have to go to residential. And I already knew that. I already knew I needed residential. When I first went to the doctor back in like January, she straight up told me, when she saw me, she was like, dude, inpatient. You need to go to inpatient, which means that I was way too underweight, and I needed the medical help first before I could get to my mental health. So I went to residential, blah blah, for a few months, then moved to PHP, which is partial, and then back to IOP, and I got all of that over with. I was doing amazing, honestly, which I never expected to be at that place. I've never been that happy. In October, when I finally got released, or November, I don't remember, I'm gonna check later, but when I finally got released and I went back home, I stayed home for the rest of the semester. I deferred school, obviously. I decided that it was time to go back to school the next semester. Like, I couldn't just be sitting there doing nothing with my life. Like, I needed to go back. Little did I know, I needed to be closer to people I love and know, because although I was attending classes and everything, I guess something was off. The environment in New York City is very different from what I'm used to, and coming from 8 years of having an eating disorder and then a year of treatment to just throw me back into that environment, like living by myself with like people I just met, it's a lot. It was a lot to take in, and I didn't realize the first months that I was there, and I started realizing towards the end that something was off. Like, I was just not as happy as I knew I could be, and I let go of so many like toxic friendships, like not necessarily toxic because they're bad people, just because I wasn't doing well enough to be friends with certain people because of personal reasons. Like, my mental health was just everywhere, and I just needed space, kind of thing. I needed to be close to the people I love. I needed to be somewhere I know and love, and just somewhere different. Yes, I took my little notes because yeah, honestly, like, my dad brought up the idea when I first decided to go back to school, that he was like, listen, if it doesn't work out, like, that's okay, we're still gonna be here for you, we're still gonna love you, and we're gonna find you an option. And I was like, I know, blah, blah, blah. And then he decided, like, randomly, like, it was just like an idea that popped up, you know? Hey, like, if it doesn't work out, how about you go to Mexico for a year, and if you decide to come back, then you come back, and if not, then you just stay there. Like, that's up to you. And I was like, yeah, we'll see when the time comes, like, if it comes, blah, blah. It did come. So school ended, the semester ended, I didn't do too well. I was just not satisfied with how I was doing. So I got together with my family. Actually, no. Oh my god, I'm just remembering. My dad called me. He sensed that something was up. I was still in New York. And I just cried my eyes out. I was like, yeah, this is not it for me. Not right now. Like, maybe in some years or something like that, but not right now. This is not all for me. So he brought the idea back up, and he was like, so Mexico? And I said, yep, Mexico it is. And I cried my eyes out. I was not satisfied with myself. I was very ashamed of myself that I had to do that I had to change not only schools but also cities, countries, for me to be in a place that I could be okay, potentially. So I basically cried all day. I applied to a school, and a month later I took a test, like the SATs, but for Mexico. So I took the test and everything, and a month later, after that, like July-ish, July 4th actually, I got my little email that said, oh hey, you're in, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what, by this time I had already wrapped my head around it. I had already, whoa. Wasn't that great. Sorry. I left my tripod because it's not really mine, it's my sister's, so I just have my little tiny tripod. But back to the story. I had already made my mind up by July, and well, there's a lot of like thoughts in my head right now, and I'm also starving. But I decided I wanted to do this video already and just get it over with. And I'm super hungry, so just deal with me. Oh, let's eat something. Oh yeah, this is my new room. Super chic, it's super cute. Dreamy. All I've ever wanted. Whatever. Back to the shit. By July, I had already wrapped myself up. By July, I had already wrapped my head up about it, and I was actually excited. I was like, oh my god, yes, like, I'm so excited to go back to, like, my people. Like, I just needed that warmth and that love that Latinos have, and like, I was just so happy. So yeah, like, I got in and everything, and I got here 3 weeks ago. I started doing all the moving, everything. My dad's calling because I ignored his call. My update is basically that I've been here for 3 weeks, 2 weeks in school, and it's looking good. I'm actually liking it a lot more than New York, if I'm being honest. The classes are very, very, very stressful and long and tiring because it's like a new program in the school. But I decided to start over. My 3 semesters, I'm not gonna count them or anything. Like, I just decided to start over completely, just a fresh start, like, forget about how I was doing in New York and everything, and fresh start, honestly. That's what I'm here for, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm feeling good so far. My parents are gonna be around me a lot more, which is good, and like my family members and friends and everything, so I'm just really excited to see where this goes, and hopefully it goes somewhere that I want it to go to, because I'm really excited, really excited. I'm actually learning stuff now instead of going to religion class and blah blah blah. I'm actually going into like the deep business stuff already, which I love because I hate dealing with like things that I find unnecessary for what I'm gonna do. yes, just throw me all the stress. Like, that's what I like. Which is so annoying too, because I get tired like so fast and so easy. Like, it's so much information in my head in like 8 hours. But it's fine, because the classes are way more interesting to me than they were for the 3 semesters in New York. So that's basically the reason I moved here, and hopefully I'll be doing more videos, because I love talking, if you guys haven't noticed. I feel like I say this in every video, but I love talking, so I don't care. Also, if you don't know my eating disorder story, you should go check that out. And my moving to Mexico vlog, and my vegan haul, and basically every video on my channel, honestly. That's it. I'm gonna be posting once a week. That's it for this video. Give it a like, subscribe, and click the bell button to get notified. I'll see you next time. Bye.